Entitled Mother Child-Proofs a Private Mountain Bike Trail. Child-proof a mountain bike trail. Somebody needs to child-proof that woman's vagina. Oh, God. Hello, friends, and welcome back to Reddix, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content anywhere on the entire internet. Promise, swearsies, totally just a fact. Anyways, today we're jumping into some rSlash entitled parents. It's still the bread and butter, you know what I mean? We're gonna visit a lot of different subreddits, but we'll always have a home at rSlash entitled parents. Anyways, without further delay, let's go ahead and jump right into the stories. You owe me $1,200. Give me your stimulus, boy. When I was 17, I had purchased 10 ounces of silver from my high school art teacher. I believe I paid just under $20 for it. I had shown this to my mom when I came home from school. However, that night, my heavy-handed father once again got drunk and beat me up for the last time. Damn. He said that me being anti-war was un-American, and I needed a beating. Jesus Christ. I left home that night. I took my clothes, a few keepsakes, some books, and also the silver. I left quite a few belongings in a closet in my room, belongings that my parents refused to let me retrieve in later years. I got most of it back when they died, but things like the first Barbie in its original box and the Chatty Cathy doll were gone. But I digress. This was back in 1967. By 1980, I had been married for 5 years. My sister had come by to visit, and she told me that she had just been to see our mom and dad. She also told me that they were frantically tearing through the closet in my old bedroom and wouldn't tell her why. I just shrugged at this because our parents were odd, to say the least. About 10 minutes after she told me this, my mom called me. Mom didn't even say hi when I answered the phone. She just frantically asked me where I had put that silver I had purchased. It took me a while to remember just what silver she was talking about. When I finally remembered, I told her that I had made all of that into jewelry over a decade before. This totally pissed her off. She screamed at me to stop lying. She said that they had been looking for that silver all day. And I was still puzzled, so I asked her, why? That's when she told me that the silver price was nearly $50 an ounce at that moment, and she knew that I had several ounces of it, and I needed to tell her where it was, right now. I again told her that it was all gone. I had made rings and pendants with it, and had given them away to friends, and even sold some. She then freaked out. All 25 ounces of it? It was 10 ounces, and that was 13 years ago, I said. She really came unglued. She said that her and my dad were counting on that $1,200 because my youngest brother needed it for his kids and that I was being selfish. And then she decided that I owed her $1,200 because I didn't leave the silver at her house as I should have done. What? I reminded her that it wasn't 25 ounces, it was only 10, and that I had purchased it with my own money, so it had been my property, and I owed her, my dad, and my brat-ass youngest brother nothing at all. This angered her further. She told me that I would be hearing from their lawyer, and then slammed the phone down. She would have hated cell phones because you can't slam them. I never did hear from her lawyer, at least not that time. In fact, I never heard another word about that stupid silver. The price went back down just a day or so later. It had been a weird fluke that had made it soar in price like that anyways. I mean, you can't just go get instant market value for metals like that, can you? I wouldn't think a precious metals broker would want to risk their money on a fluke. I'm sure that her dread lawyer told them this, as well as telling her that she had no case, if she even talked to him at all. It's kinda sad to see your own parents so hard up for money, but it kinda sounds like they deserve it, you know. And I'm not surprised at all that that original Barbie and Chatty Cathy doll went missing, considering that if they're pristine in the box, they are worth a freaking mint. But they sold those, and now they need to re-up, so where's that silver at? Bro, it probably really stung when you told them that you gave it away for free. They're like, free? They've never done anything nice for anyone in their entire lives. I hope that OP's parents and her brother will get it figured out at some point, although I do have deep doubts about that. But we always hope for the best around here. Anyways, let's get into the next story. A mother made my school bus driver cry and murdered her spirit over special presents. My mom just reminded me of this. I don't remember every detail because I was 5 or 6 when this went down, but I do remember how bum kids were after. Okay, so when I was 5 or 6 in 1997, I rode the bus to and from school. Our bus driver was an older lady named Marge. I only remember her name because of Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Pee-wee! And she was a super nice lady. She didn't have kids, so I think she thought of the kids on her route as her makeshift grandkids. She got to know most of the kids that rode routinely and would give gifts on birthdays and special presents to some kids, not all, on Christmas or Hanukkah. Now, we all knew about the special presents. The older kids had told the younger kids, and it seemed like a general rule that some kids got small wrapped gifts, like the size of an iPhone box, nothing big, and the rest of us got candy canes. I don't remember exactly what year this event happened. I think I was maybe in the 1st grade because I was very aware of the special presents, and I know I had gotten a Barbie doll from her on my birthday, which landed just before school let out on summer break. Anyways, this happened just before Christmas break. Marge had already given special presents to the kids that she always gave them to. It was after school, we were being dropped off at the bus stop. It was raining really hard, and I was already in a grumpy mood because the wind blew my umbrella inside out. Marge pulled up on the sidewalk, reminded us to put on our jackets and hoods, which caused her to take a few seconds to open the door, and that's when this crazy, entitled mother starts rapping her knuckles on the door, like, really hard. Marge pulled the lever that opens the door, and before she could even get it open all the way, this entitled mother shoves the door open and stomps on, and according to my mom, shouts, "Why did you give presents to 4 kids and not my kids?" I honestly don't remember what this woman had said. I remember her yelling, and all of us are silent and watching. My mom hears Marge say, "Excuse me?" This entitled mother begins on a tirade of calling Marge a predator and accusing her of nepotism, which made her look extremely uncomfortable. As my mom said, she looked like she was shocked in an odd way. The entitled mother then says, "Are you touching these kids? Is that it? You're a molester. She's a goddamn molester." That's when someone's father gets on and yanks that crazy bitch off. I remember seeing her vanish like a magic trick. And then I looked at Marge, who was crying. My sweet old bus driver was openly weeping and sobbing. It was sad and uncomfortable because at my age, I didn't know what to do. And I barely talked, so I didn't know what to say or if I should say anything to Marge. Marge allowed us to get off. I kept my head down as I passed her, feeling this icky, achy feeling in my chest. Outside, the entitled mother was yelling that it wasn't fair that only 4 families had riders that Marge knew, almost personally, got gifts for Christmas, and her 2 kids only got a stupid fucking candy cane. I do remember that part. I remember thinking, lady, we all got candy canes. So what? My mom walked me home, and just as we turned the corner, a cop car came up the street. His lights weren't on. He kinda like crept by, if that makes sense. My mom had shaken her head and said, "Can you believe that crazy bitch? Is she sick in the head?" Yes, she is. The next week, last week of school, we had a sub-driver. We had him until February. Marge returned, and she seemed to have lost her chipperness. Like, she didn't come off as open and sweet like before. She stopped giving gifts altogether, and she didn't get involved or asked us about our home lives or our families anymore either. She was my bus driver until I moved 3 years later. I wonder if she's still alive. God, this is a sad story. That entitled mom didn't show up after that one time. I don't think I ever met her kids or knew who they even were. But yeah, that crazy woman kinda murdered my bus driver's spirit. Sorry it was so long. Edit. Okay, so me and my mom figured out that this happened when I was 6, 98, and I was in the 1st grade. This edit may seem irrelevant, but I was really trying to remember how old I was and what was going on in my life. Last time I saw Marge was in 2001. I hope she's alive somewhere out there, and is still as nice as I remember her being. Oh, God, I feel so sad for that poor bus driver. I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have given her a hug and been like, don't listen to that fucking poison, you know? That's always what I tell my kids, too. We all have that internal voice inside of us that speaks nothing but hate and says, you can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Do not listen to that poison. but especially don't listen to it if it comes from an external source. Obviously, she's just trying to get some free stuff. I'd like to know what the presents were. And to be fair, if the bus driver did know the families, then she probably could have done it like off route or something like that. But honestly, it's like such a little thing to make a huge issue over. God, I hate that entitled mother. I like to hug the bus driver and punch the entitled mother. Alright, comments section, let's play a game. The bus driver, entitled mother, or the kids. Fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go. There's no winning in that game. Oh, God. It's terrible. God, this story really brought me low. I'm gonna move on from it, and I just hope that the next one can lift my spirits a bit. So let's dive into the next story. Entitled mom illegally drives car on a bike path and gets mad at me when I say something. It's got potential already. So, I live near a bike path, and since the beginning of the pandemic, I've been biking it a lot. It's about 10 miles long, and is skinny, so not big enough for too many people. Of course, other people are also there. Yesterday, I went out for my bike ride, and I saw this kid biking, with an SUV in front of him, like an escort. They were going the opposite way, and when the car saw me, the person inside told me to get off the path so they could go by. Now listen. There's no way that cars are allowed in here, and it is clearly marked so. Every intersection of the path said, no cars, and there were poles blocking the path. She must have just pulled around them somehow. So I confronted her. EM is the entitled mother, M is OP. The kid is not a big part of it, so they're just the kid. Entitled mother,
pull over, I'm coming through.
OP, you can't drive here. It's a bike path, not a road. Entitled mother,
I'm escorting my kid so he doesn't get hurt or kidnapped. Move and stop blocking my car, idiot.
OP, then bike with him. Don't drive in front of him. You're endangering everyone else. Entitled mother,
just get out of the way. I'll run you over if you don't. The nerve of some people. You should just go away.
OP, I'm calling the police if you don't stop driving on the path. Entitled mother,
fine, I'll pull off at the next road. You didn't have to be rude about it.
Who's the rude one? I pulled over and let them by, but I followed behind them just to see what they did. A road came by, and guess what? She just kept going. I was really mad now, but I just waited. Another road came by, and she went by again. I decided to just call the cops and see what would happen. I told the person on the phone where they were, and they said someone was coming. We were near the police station, so someone was there at the next road. The cop pulled in front of them and told them to pull off. I was far away, so I just sat back and watched. She gets out of the car and starts yelling at the cop. The cop tries to calm her down, but she got so mad she slapped the cop. The cop grabbed her and put her in the car. He then said something into his radio, and another cop car came and took the kid away. I left at this point, feeling happy that I got some justice. That entitled mother did that all to herself. Probably would have happened eventually whether OP was there or not, but I'm glad you got to initiate it. I'm glad you were there and came to tell us the tale. Oh, Lord. This is a super good point. Like, why do you need to drive your car on the bike path? Don't you have a bike? Don't you want to bike with your child and bond a little bit? Like, God, it just doesn't make any sense at all. I'll be real with you, it's kind of like mother, like son, so if you think that kid's gonna get kidnapped or something, it ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna get that lucky. Not today. I don't mean to throw shade on the little kid. He's just caught in the crossfire, you know. You know how I do. I have a scorched earth policy when it comes to entitled people. Burn them all to the ground. I do feel a little bit bad for the kid because it's like he did have to get taken away in a cop car, watch his mom get taken away, and then get taken away himself. This is a little sad, but, you know, casualties of war. Hopefully his father is a little more stable. And hopefully also that the judge throws the book at entitled mom, and she goes away for a lot longer than just a ride to the police station. A couple months in the tank will calm you right down, eh? Let's do one more story, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Entitled Mother childproofs a private mountain bike trail. Oh, how nice of her. So this happened a while ago in a small town in the middle of nowhere. It's a community-built network of mountain bike trails that the community helps maintain and builds more trails to ride on for our enjoyment. The trail started in my cousin's backyard, and before he was the only one involved, so the trails were very small. But soon, many of his neighbors got involved to help maintain and build more trails, so it became a decent-sized network of trails. Since it is his private property, he requests people to ask before they go on his trails, and he lets most people in. One day we wanted to ride on a downhill trail with many cool features. Things like jumps and logs to hop over, homemade skinny bridge made out of wood planks, drops, and much more. This particular day, there was a sign planted into the ground on the entrance of the trail saying,
"Reserved for Karen and her family."
At first, we thought this was very entitled and rude, just barging onto his property and blocking it off from the owners. But we saw them with shovels and wheelbarrows and realized that they were helping us maintain the trail. Fair enough, it could use some maintenance, so it was kind of them to be helping us without being asked. Little did we know that this was the complete opposite. Let's introduce the cast. EM, entitled Mother. EK, entitled Kid. C is Cousin. OP, that's me. So we spent the next few hours riding the other trails, and finally decided that we should give them some beers for helping us out, so we returned to my cousin's house and grabbed some from the fridge, and head back up and go past her sign. We start to go down, but she runs up to us and starts yelling. Entitled Mother,
"Hey, why are you going past that sign? It's clearly reserved for me and my angel."
Cousin, oh, we just wanted to give you some beers for helping us maintain the trail. Entitled Mother,
It's reserved for me. Get out.
Cousin, I own this. You are on my private property. Entitled Mother,
No, this is public. My angel's friends all come here every day.
now, this could be true. My cousin has allowed many school children to ride on his trails after school, but, Cousin, this is my private property. I do let many people ride my trails as long as they help out sometimes, and I certainly do not remember inviting you. Please leave. Entitled Mother,
Well, I did help you with your trails. Look, I childproofed them.
She points to the trail, and we suddenly realize what she had done. She had flattened out jumps, removed logs, removed the skinny bridge along with everything else that makes a mountain bike trail fun. It's just a slight downhill path. Not to mention how she cut down several trees, making it impossible to get hurt. Entitled Kid was also there, riding down the lame hill with a regular Walmart bike, and going back up it with the stairs made by breaking the skinny bridge. An entire summer's worth of work turned into an idiot-friendly bike hill with nothing special. Cousin, what the hell have you done? Entitled Mother,
Don't be yelling at me. You're the one who built a hazardous merry-go-round.
I had no idea what she was saying. Cousin, yeah, that's the whole point of mountain biking. To do fun things like this, but you, without my permission, went onto my property and broke my things? What is wrong with you? Entitled Mother,
I'm making it safe for you.
Cousin, okay, well, I'm gonna call the cops. At this point she realized how dumb she was and decided to back off, never to be seen again. A part of me wanted this to escalate for a better story to tell, but we never ended up calling the cops. It ended up taking several days to get it back to its original-ish form, but it will never be as fun. Ruined your trail and cut down your trees? I mean, you don't have to call the police or anything like that, but you can take her to court. Find out who she is and hit her with some good old-fashioned tree law. And also there should be damages for everything else that was destroyed, not just the trees. God, I think this is the trouble with opening your home to the public in any form. Immediately, if I see somebody on my property, I'd be like, hey, who are you? What are you doing? Not just like, they're cool. They got a wheelbarrow with them. They're cool. Fuck that. Child-proof a mountain bike trail. Somebody needs to child-proof that woman's vagina. Oh, God. Anyways, friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that you'll like, comment, and or subscribe if you did. Check out the links in the description. We got Twitter, we got Discord, we got Patreon. Giveaways going on in the Discord. And as always, I would like to thank my extremely generous patrons who are making my dream a reality. We've got Crimson Albedo, Lady Nyx, Nico the Legend, Radimus Cisco, and Damon Darkstar. I also want to apologize really quickly for the gap between uploads. Used to be every day, currently it's every 2 days because I'm also humping over on my other channel, Dayton Does, doing like some coverage for Steam game bundles, which is going pretty well, but it is a lot of work. However, I don't mind running 2 channels. Maybe someday I could do this full time, but I've also got, you know, my real job and a family to think of, so I definitely get the content out to you guys as quickly as possible, and I appreciate your patience. Anyways, friends, I hope that you guys will keep yourselves safe out there, join us for the next one, and do not forget, never forget, to wash your hands. I appreciate you, all you beautiful people. I shall see you again quite soon. And until the next one, friends, bye-bye.